The House resolves to set up an ad hoc committee to investigate the matter and report to the floor of the House in 4 weeks. This is not the first time resolutions will be taken on this matter in the National Assembly. This is a joint gathering of southern socio-cultural groups comprising the Afenifere, Ohaneze, Mdibo, South-South and the Middle Belt. The agenda of the meeting is to challenge state governors to adopt the open grazing prohibition law as the immediate solution to herdsmen attacks across the country.
I would think you have distinguished members of the issue.
The call is coming barely a week after the groups rejected the proposed cattle colony by the federal government.
Should adopt a version of Benue State anti-grazing law.
When we talk about restructuring, it is a national imperative. If we do not go that way, this country will die in the next 7 years. Why do I say so? First, look at our security situation. Never before have we been as divided as we are today. How on earth can you have a federal government that runs a unitary system? It is a lie, standing with your head and your leg up. How can you have an armed forces of the Federation where one ethnic group controls 90% of the command of the security forces? Does it make for confidence? And leave Fulani herdsmen, who have been categorized as the 4th most dangerous militant organization. Why is it that no Boko Haram fighter has been convicted in a law court in Nigeria? Why do we have the highest number of checkpoints, military and army, between Benue and southeast Nigeria? Are we a conquered people?
We are not going to allow anybody to draw any wedge between us. And I'm repeating again, please. Whatever differences you have in Benue State, in your political thing, this matter is beyond politics. You must exist first before there was politics to rule you. There must be a Benue, there must be a Nigeria before you begin to say A and B should rule. To continue under this constitution, I don't see the way out. Let us agree firmly and tell the powers that be that don't go anywhere, no palliative, no telling anybody any sweet things. If you are really serious, and I say publicly, if Buhari and APC, they are really serious about keeping this country together amicably, I emphasize amicably, they should go and implement the restructuring policy right now.
All is not well. A country that kills the unborn child, kills women, and kills its youth has questions to answer, not only to the global community, but also to God.
Be steadfast. Be strong, no matter who is criticizing you. This visit that we have brought is to say we are solidly behind you.
Based on what we have seen, the pains that we have gone through, in the midst of silence, in the midst of conspiracy against us to cleanse us from the face of our land that God has given us. So I'm more inclined that there is need. We must not pretend. The Bible says that you shall know the truth and the truth will set you free. We need to get to the roots of this. Otherwise, pretending and being sycophantic, it will not lead us to anywhere. It will rather destroy our unity.
The escalation of pastoral conflicts in recent years is said to have been triggered by the effects of climate change in Nigeria's north, with lower rainfall and increased desertification of grazing land, forcing herdsmen to look farther south to farmlands in a region as green as Benue. A nightmare for farmers who end up clashing with herders.
I'm having the zeal to farm, but the Fulani has hindered us not to farm. Why? Because when we farm, when you go to the church, before you close to your service, they have eaten everything. Or a market day, they will time you, and market day, they will go and destroy all what you have farmed. So it seems we are doing nothing. Except the government have a better plan for the Fulanis that will stand in the one place to cater for what they are doing. As the governor of this state, Kano State, planted to go to some rural areas to dig a borehole, they should do it for the Fulani so that they will have something to cater for their sheep, their cattle there. So I think that plan will also help even the farmers to also raise off what the country wants. Without this intervention, things will go wrong. I have my own farm. I farm that red beans. That is very good, about 5-6 major, but they have destroyed it. So I have to come back and sit down and watch the government waiting what they will do. So we are planning, if the government has the zeal to help the country, they will do something concerning it.
One of the factors that is causing some of these issues that we're seeing is climate change. We need to recognize that in the past, the sort of greenery and the sort of vegetation we had has changed. And the North has also experienced greatly a change in the way climate change has actually affected water sources, land, and vegetation. And we as a people need to start thinking about how to combat climate change. What are the options? What are the alternatives? Those discussions need to be had in addition to how you ensure that a people's livelihood can move beyond a situation of conflict as a result of finding alternatives in order to carry out their trade, but rather to live in harmony with other people. And those discussions need to be facilitated in a mutually respecting manner. And most importantly, there needs to be a prevention of further attacks. And this can only happen if a long-term strategy is put in place to ensure that when people move from place to place, because today we're talking about herders and farmers conflicts, we're also going to see a shift also between urban and rural populations. That has already started happening. And in a couple of years, you'll find that more people live in urban areas than rural areas. Then what happens in those situations? How do we deal with rising crime levels in the cities? So the solution is a holistic view to ensure you can prevent people from taking the rights of others, especially when you talk about life, someone's life. It's a crime and it's something that should be prevented. And then for those that have happened in the past, you need to be able to address it. Because in a law-abiding society, people need to feel that everybody is treated equally and everybody has equal standing before the law. And at the moment, that situation is not clear at all. And we need to do a lot more as a people, as a government, to ensure that we can offer this kind of protection and this kind of assurance. And it will only happen if perpetrators of crimes or violations are brought to book and the communities are repatriated and are given enough resources in order to address their socioeconomic needs.